Man, oh man, we got some drama with the Walt Disney Company board, and we're going to talk about it today. Let's get into it. What's up, my friends? Josh here. Welcome back to another video. Let's get right into it. Nelson Peltz is just dropping a bomb on Disney right now with this proxy war. And we're going to talk about first who Nelson Peltz is, and we're going to also get into things with the Disney company. And honestly, I'm going to say this off the bat. This is a move that needs to happen, and I'm going to explain everything why I believe it needs to happen. Now, before we get into everything, I do want to give credit to my dad here. He has helped me understand all this stuff. He is very big with the stock market, and he has a tremendous portfolio with what he does. And you know, he's been teaching me the past 2 weeks. He's really been getting on about this with me for like years, since like 2017. But I'm finally taking the initiative to actually learn this stuff because it is important to know. So love you, Baba. Thank you for answering all my questions so I can explain to everybody else and what I believe. And that's like the cool thing about this YouTube channel. I can say what I believe, and you know, we can talk about it in the comments like that and debate it. But anyways, let's get into it. So who is Nelson Peltz? Mr. Peltz is an investor activist, and he is a founder of a company called Triumph. And basically what they do is their sole purpose is to gain capital or help gain capital for companies. So this is a man with a tremendous track record of helping many companies, being part of many boards, and helping them gain more capital. And we're going to use P&G as an example. Back in 2017, Nelson Peltz got into a proxy war, the same proxy war that Disney is going through right now. And all he really wanted to do was be part of the board for P&G. Now, I'm not going to get into too much detail about who P&G is, but basically they're a company that makes shampoos and stuff like that. Very big company. And they were also one that it didn't make sense as to why their stock performance was so crappy. So this proxy battle began in 2017. If you look at this graph, I'm going to put on this side right here, you can see that they were averaging around $70 a share back before he took over, or sorry, back when he joined the board. Now fast forwarding to today, their average is around $150 a share. So that's a pretty big jump. And this is just one example of a major company that he has helped out before. And I just don't understand why Disney is not even considering this. Mr. Peltz has no record of ever firing anybody from a board at a previous company. There have been individuals that have transferred out of the board, but they are still with the company. They're just not affiliated with the board anymore. And I feel like that's a big reason that Disney fears that this is a guy with a tremendous track record that can really put this company back where they're supposed to be, and these individuals are just afraid to lose their job. Now, I'm gonna be a little aggressive here to say a lot of these people that are on the board should not be on the board. I think they should be removed. I'm not saying fired, just removed. And the reason being is we're gonna backtrack again to when Bob Chapek was appointed CEO. Yes, Bob Iger was the one that made the suggestion, okay, we want to put Bob Chapek as CEO. But whose job is it to approve it? The board. I feel like this board as a total, not specifically certain individuals, but as a group, they lack the experience to make good decisions. And Bob Chapek was obviously a bad decision. Buying Fox was a bad decision. Obviously, Bob Iger gets more of that blame, but the board still approved of it. I'm not going to sit here and guess why. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but it just seemed a little weird. But there's a lot of shady things. This is a big topic I want to get into. There's a lot of shady things that Disney hasn't really given an explanation to their stockholders. You know, you have to remember, a stockholder is someone that owns a percent of this public company. And I'm gonna backtrack to the firing of Bob Chapek. Now, I'm happy that Bob Chapek left, but there's one key thing that Disney never really did, and that's to give a reason why he got fired. I mean, most of us don't really care as a Disney fan. We never liked them anyways, right? But you have to look at it as the aspect or the perspective of a stockholder. If you take your car to a company that washes your car, and they do a magnificent job, right? And let's say they return the car back to you and there's a dent in it. Aren't you entitled to know as the owner of that vehicle why there's a dent in your car? It's the same principle. Disney has failed to give a reason as to why Bob Chapek was removed. So that's one big shady thing. And again, there's no reason as to why Nelson Peltz is not being considered for this board. They just said that they don't want him. Now, obviously, I don't have a whole story. I'm not in that boardroom. But there's analysts, Jim Cramer being a very big analyst for CNBC. He doesn't even understand why, and he is a big fan of Disney. And you know, Disney has been a stock that has always traded sideways. You never see really big growth with them. The only time that it did grow a lot was with Bob Chapek. Now, I'm going to pull up the graph of Disney right here on this side. Disney has been trading sideways, and what I mean by sideways is the stock doesn't move up or down very much. It usually just wobbles a little bit as time goes by. And the only time that it had real growth was when Bob Chapek was around, and that was during COVID actually, when he was investing a lot into Disney Plus. When Bob Chapek was CEO, he did something that I feel very upset about, but it made a lot of sense when the parks were closed. But it should only have been implemented when the parks were closed. And what he would do is he would take the profits of the Disney parks, which is the main income source for a frickin' theme park company, right? And he invested it into Disney Plus and the streaming, which was fantastic during 2020. People were home. Nobody can go anywhere. Obviously, where else would you put it? But he kept it going after the closure of the parks, when parks were like plenty busy through the pandemic. And even today, I mean, there's so much demand for people to be at the parks. Now, I feel like that demand's going to go down a little bit today moving forward, because I feel like people have gotten that itch out of that way, you know, like that itch that they need to get of like going to Disney World and stuff like that. So I feel like numbers are going to go down a little bit, but that's just my personal opinion. But anyways, this is the explanation as to why Disney park quality has been down. I mean, there's been plenty of reports of like dirty ride vehicles, like a Small World After All and Space Mountain, the roof being dirty. I literally was on the People Mover the other day, and the cushioning on the People Mover was like ripped open. You can see foam coming out. Like, the quality is like really bad at Disney World right now, and it's a big topic that a lot of vloggers are talking about. Disney needs to fix their maintenance. However, they have been fixing it. I was literally there the same day that I rode the People Mover. There were actually people there scrubbing the roof of Space Mountain. So that's good to see. Going back to Nelson Peltz, he was also not a fan of Chapek. Now, he does believe that Chapek wasn't given enough time to show his true performance. I mean, he had really one bad quarter in there. You know, Disney kind of ousted him. So he does believe that Chapek should have had a better opportunity. He literally had an interview 2 weeks, or was it last week? It was 2 weeks ago. No, it was last week, of how he felt about Chapek. He's definitely more of a fan of Iger than Chapek, but he just believed he didn't get a fair shot, which I guess I can agree with that. I mean, it is kind of true. You were only there for 3 years, and that's really not enough time. But still, given what was happening at the parks, I think he had to go, because if he would have kept this company, the parks were just going to get worse and worse and worse, and they were just going to get a bigger hole into what is already a hole with Disney Plus. I mean, all the streaming services are really doing bad right now, Netflix being the biggest one. So if we would have kept them, I think the parks just would have gotten worse. And I feel like that's the reason why he was removed. I mean, there are also reports of Josh D'Amaro not being happy and stuff like that, but man, money talks. So anyways, Mr. Peltz, this is someone that just wants one seat on this board. He's not asking for 2 or 3. He just wants to be one voice. Now, I will say, obviously there's some kind of personal gain there. This man does have $800 million invested in Disney shares. So obviously he's trying to flip his money around. So there is personal gain there. But this is Disney World, man. Listen, I'm gonna be the one to say it. I know there's like this whole bandwagon that Universal is gonna beat them and blah 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 blah. They're not Disney World, guys. That's just reality. They are the biggest media company in the world, and it's something simple as just making a Figment popcorn bucket that makes a line of 2 hours versus a Velocicoaster that I really haven't seen it go triple digits in wait time. Now, it is ridiculous, but there's just a bigger fan base for Disney versus Universal. It's just a reality. Now, I do think Universal is gonna definitely have an advantage when Epic Universe comes out, but they're never gonna be better than Disney. It's just a reality, guys. They are a giant. So I'm just gonna be real and try to be non-biased about it. I mean, I hope I don't sound biased talking about it, but I'm just going through the fact that Disney is a bigger company and they're gonna always do better than Universal. It's just a reality. Even today, right now, with Disney's quality being below to their standards, is how I'm gonna word it, they're still exceeding better than Universal. They're getting more guests. I mean, it's just facts, guys. I mean, I love Universal. I love how they treat me as a UOAP member, but the reality is Disney's just bigger, and that's just a reality. And Universals could still be good, but don't be quick to say, oh, Epic Universe is gonna beat them out. If that's the case, why are we talking about a fifth gate at Disney World? Because we want to control the crowd levels. And that's my whole point. How often on a daily basis are these Disney parks just overcrowded? Universal will just never come to those numbers if you compare them to Disney. I mean, yeah, Universal's plenty busy, but busier than Disney? Come on now. Now, obviously, there's other things like, of course, you know, as a past member, you know, you're a little bored of going to all 4 parks. At least, you know, it could get old after a while, and we want to see something new. Who doesn't want to see something new? The main scrutiny that I'm seeing online is they need to control crowds. So how can you sit there and say that Universal is going to do better when Disney's already overcrowded and you're asking for a fifth gate? It doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. You can make whatever claim you want, but speaking back on a fifth gate, by the way, Nelson Peltz was actually asked, do you want to build a 5th park? You know what his response was? Sure. Where's the money? Yeah, that is a big problem with Disney. They don't have money to build the freaking park. And that is a big thing that Mr. Bob Chapek screwed up on. Would he have followed the foundation that Mr. Iger did, we probably would have had a park under construction right now back in 2021. I firmly believe that. But because of the hole that they put themselves in, if we see another park that's going to be built, I understand they just filed for permits to go ahead and build another park, but I don't think it's going to happen until 2025, in my personal opinion. But I don't know. I don't work at Disney, but that's just like based on the information that's just been coming out with Nelson Peltz on the interview. I just went on YouTube. Here's actually the video right here of him getting interviewed by CNBC regarding this whole entire proxy war. I'm going to put a link to this in the bio so you can hear what he has to say. I mean, it's his word versus Disney, but I think this guy's pretty real with what he has to say. And you can find out all the information that I'm telling you right now. I mean, it's kind of mind-boggling to me. Disney doesn't have money. That's crazy. With all of the profits that they're making every day on the parks, they don't have money to build or to do this stuff because of the situation that they are in. And I blame Bob Chapek more than Bob Iger. Listen, obviously the whole thing with Fox was a big mistake by Bob Iger, but that's the only bad thing he's really done. I mean, obviously stock performance has been sideways with Bob Iger, but he still made great innovative things when it comes to Disney Plus, buying Star Wars, buying Marvel, all that good stuff. He did amazing things with his company. So given everything, I wonder what you guys think about this whole entire proxy war that's going on. Me personally, I hope that Nelson Peltz wins and he gets his seat on the board, because I feel like there's going to be some good changes coming to the company. I think some board members that are there are going to be ousted. Not fired, I'm not saying fired, but you know, just move to somewhere else where they can be more efficient at their job. Listen, man, the reality is if you're not meant for a job, you're not meant for a job, and it just is what it is. Life moves on. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I think that's all I really wanted to cover today. I'm actually using the new camera again for this video. I think it's pretty cool. I wanted to use the wider lens here, but I can only go so much on the aperture, and I had to mess with ISO, and I don't want grain. Like, a big thing is grain. I do notice that this camera doesn't have any image stabilization, so I noticed from the last video it was pretty shaky. So trust me, I know about it. But honestly, this is the setup I'm gonna rock with, as well as with my iPhone and the GoPro right here. When I start to see, I just knocked over my batteries. Not a minute. But yeah, when I start to see more growth with the channel, obviously any money that I make with this YouTube channel, it's gonna go back to the channel. So obviously I'll use that to get a better camera, go on more trips and stuff like that. But right now I'm just using my hard-earned money with what I have now as an investment to get this thing going. So it really does mean a lot when you do hit that like button, because you know, it'll leave a smile on my face, because you're gonna help that algorithm so much for this channel to grow. So you know, and aside from that, it's just a great motivator for me to go out and do this more. I mean, I'm already plenty motivated, but man, just seeing like one DM, I mean just one DM on my Instagram from a viewer that, you know, I don't know, that's from somewhere from this planet, and let me know how they feel about the channel, like that really motivated me. I mean, obviously I have my foundation of viewers, and people that I know personally, and you know, very slowly more viewers are coming of people from around the globe, which makes it really exciting. So you have no idea how much that like just helps out so much. So if you can do that for me, I really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do so and ring that bell so you know when I'm posting next time. But with that being said, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Well, that's something in my throat there. But thank you so much for watching. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about this whole move with Nelson pelts in the comments. I think this is great news, and it shouldn't even be up for debate that this man should be on the board or not. Which, that's another shady thing. Did you know that they lowered the board member count to 11? It was originally 12, and they dropped it to 11, and I don't know why they did that. But I'm not about to make no conspiracy about it. It's just shady, you know, and there's no reason as to why they did that either, which is another reason to upset if you are an owner of the company. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.